Hello, welcome to Camel for You channel. Today we will discuss chapter 1 Transport in Plants. In that subtopic Means of Transport. J.C. Bose 1858 to 1937. He invented plants also living things and he done fellow of Royal Society and he contributed his generating electromagnetic waves of a minute wavelength and designed an instrument called coherer. So, this understanding of a plant life through his pulsating theory, and he also authored several books and researches irritability of a plants and nervous mechanism in plants. Plants do not have circulatory system and the photosynthesis or food synthesized by the leaves have also to be moved to all parts including the root tip embedded deep inside the soil. Water taken up by the roots has to reach all parts of the plant up to the every tip of growing stem. Here the movement across short distances, say within the cell, either across the membranes and form cell to cell within the tissue as also to takes place. Over small distance substances move by diffusion and by cytoplasmic streaming supplemented by active transport. Transport over long distances proceed through the vascular system and is called as translocation. Diffusion is massive. It may be short distance part of the cell and cell to cell over intercellular spaces of the leaf to the outside. Here there is no energy required, and in this diffusion obvious in gases and liquids. Here higher concentration to regions of a lower concentration the substance move, and this may be happens in gases and liquids. In plants, diffusion rates are affected by the gradient of concentration, the permeability of the membrane, separating them, and temperature and pressure. Then we will discuss facilitated diffusion. This is a passive movement of molecules or ions across a plasma membrane of a transport protein in the plasma membrane. If you observe in this diagram, there is an extracellular space and intracellular space. Between this is the plasma membrane or cell membrane. Due to carrier protein, the substance exchange between these two spaces. A concentration gradient must already be present for molecules to diffuse even if facilitated by the proteins. So this process is called as a facilitated diffusion. Substances soluble in lipids diffuse through the membrane faster. Facilitated diffusion is very specific in this. It allows cell to select substances for uptake. It is sensitive to inhibitors which react with the protein side chains. In this, a crucial role is maintained by porins. Porins are proteins that form huge pores in the outside membrane of the plastids, mitochondria, some bacteria. The question may be given in the examination, which of the cell organelles contain porins. And also we will observe aquaporins. These are made up of 8 different types of channels, water channels. These water channels maintain substance which is transport through molecule inside the cell. Concentration gradient, which is distribution of ions between intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid. This results higher concentration to lower concentration of a molecule which moves through plasma membrane. Some carrier proteins or transport proteins allow diffusion only if two types of molecules move together. If it is the same direction, that is important. If a molecule moves across the membrane independently or unidirection. This is called as uniport. Active transport uses energy to pump molecules against a concentration gradient. Active transport is carried out by membrane proteins. In this diagram, you will observe diffusion and facilitated transport, passive transport and diffusion. They do not need proteins. Facilitated diffusion, it need proteins and it called as a passive transport. If you observe right side, active transport needed ATP energy to transport molecules across the membrane. So this is the difference. Pumps are proteins that use energy to carry substances across the cell membrane. These pumps can transport substances from lower concentration to higher concentration. This can remember wrong or right statement purpose in the examination point of view. Comparison of a different transport process. Here we can observe property of simple diffusion, facilitated transport and active transport. Exam point of view, they may ask properties. In this we will observe 5 properties. One is requires special membrane proteins, highly selective, transport saturates and uphill transport requires ATP energy. If you observe simple diffusion, always all the properties are no, and facilitated transport, 3 elements which are require special membrane proteins, highly selective, transport saturates. These are yes, and uphill transport requires ATP energy, both are no. And if you observe active transport, the properties all are yes. So there is a vast difference between simple diffusion and active transport. If you observe, here it is all no and active all yes, and facilitated 3 are yes and 2 are no. Once again practice this table and if you will get marks.